what would I see as a learner?
So imagine then for what we've been doing is developing a simulation of that situation where you're kind of immersing the learner in a realistic situation where there's virtual humans. So we could pick an example of well, let's pick an example of a sales professional and a prospect. They could be there, and there could be interactions, and then the learners then making decisions on how best to proceed, and they're getting feedback, and then they're getting conversational virtual coaching feedback as they move forward. And so it becomes a conversation with these virtual humans, and they're learning from the decisions they're making and the feedback they're getting.
Am I doing that in a browser, in a laptop, or am I walking around with a phone?
Yeah, this is actually can be in a phone, and our technology actually runs on a browser. It's very difficult to do in a browser on a mobile device because of all the restrictions in the power and the computing power of a phone. But we're able to do it, and have these conversations even on the phone. Because what we found is that you can run it on a desktop or laptop, but often a lot of the end users it's much easier for them to be accessing these experiences on mobile devices. So we wanted to do it on browsers rather than to do it in apps, because then you can actually scale it and deploy it rapidly to lots of learners, and customers have much more control over how the experience is deployed and getting the data back.
Yeah, I was thinking, because if you're talking about realism being important, then, and to some extent being able to have it on your phone and physically move in a way that is more realistic to the actual experience, or physically stand rather than be strapped to a desk where you might be with a desktop or laptop browser, that might make it more realistic, albeit it might seem like a fairly small point. But I think things like that are quite important.
Yeah.
And if you think about, you're going to a big sales meeting and you might just kind of want some refresher, you're probably going to be in the car or on public transport of some sort. Therefore, you're going to want fairly mobile access to some
Yes.
just-in-time content that will just
Hmm.
refresh,
Yeah.
maybe give you a bit of confidence, refresh your thinking around that stuff.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I don't know if anyone else that's doing this. So, we've been working here in the States with the National Science Foundation. They have what they call the Small Business Innovative Research Program. And we've won several awards from them, and it's really been developed as technology. So I don't think it's not readily available elsewhere to run in browsers like this. But we're thinking that that's really important to be able to have these experiences available, just like any e-learning. The best e-learning just happens, in a browser that's easy to access and as a platform. We want to be able to do the same thing with coaching and this virtual coaching platform as well.